In this video, I want to introduce to you guys my favorite AI tools that I use day in and day out as a YouTuber, entrepreneur, and someone that just exists in society. So here is the outline for today's video in the form of a map of my life. Whee! Let's start off with the home base. A portion of this video is sponsored by SERP API. The home base is where I spawn into existence. That is where I wake up. Other things in this category include like eating, gym, investing, banking, just like general lifestyle stuff, all under home base category. And there are 3 primary tools that belong in this category. By the way, my general philosophy for how I think about adopting these AI tools is to have a core set of tools that you know how to use really, really well, as opposed to try to like chase the hype of a lot of different tools. So yes, these are the 3 tools. The first AI tool in the home base category is Claude Cowork. Claude Cowork, developed by Anthropic, is a local AI agent that you can use to make things like custom workflows and automations, all of which you can do, by the way, with no code. For example, I wake up every morning to this custom morning brief. It compiles my emails, what happened on Slack, what's on my calendar for today, my investment portfolio, and what I should be focusing on today. I also have a custom investment workflow with an investment dashboard and research for stocks that I particularly care about. I have a lot of other custom workflows that I build using Cowork, so I'm going to put on screen now some of my favorite workflows. And if you're interested in building with Cowork, I do have a couple videos on it, which I will link over here, also in description, that you can check out. Really love using Cowork. You'll see that Cowork is a tool that's going to traverse with me throughout the day as well, because I build workflows across different parts of my life. Okay, second tool in my home base category of AI tools is of course a trusty chatbot tool. For me, that's just going to be Claude Chat. I use it as a general chatbot to ask questions like how to plan stuff. Let's just open my Claude and see some of the things that I've asked it. How to connect Logitech mouse. Duet lyrics with autism reference. Was a song that had like a reference to autism, and I really wanted to find that song again. Jesus, a Chinese zodiac sign. New York to Frankfurt flight duration and what to do for my 14-hour layover. That trip was pretty great. Yes, these are some of the questions that I like to ask Claude, and I use Claude Chat a lot. Now, the final core tool of this category is a general search tool, which I personally like to use Perplexity. So you may be wondering, what's the difference of just asking like Claude Chat, something like that, versus Perplexity, right? Well, for me, sometimes I want to get answers that are more objective and across different sources. And I want to use different models, not just Claude models. For that, Perplexity is much better. I would ask it questions like, what are the best sneakers for flat feet? Best noise canceling headphones under $200? Air fryer versus oven? What do people think is the best dentist in this neighborhood? I'm sure you get the vibe now. Also, another thing that's specific to me and maybe like some other people is that I live in Hong Kong, where Claude Chat, Gemini, OpenAI, these are all blocked. So I need to like turn on my VPN in order to access it. And sometimes I just can't be bothered. But Perplexity doesn't actually need me to turn on a VPN. Cool. I'm going to put a summary slide now on screen with some of the other example workflows that I use with these tools, plus some other honorary mentions as well. Now let's descend into the builder dungeon. The AI tools of the builder dungeon are those that I use to build software and products across my personal and professional life. It's like the tools that help me build other tools. You know what I mean? The builder dungeon is where I personally do spend the significant part of my life. This includes internal tools that we use in our team, like the slide generator, news tracker, learning app, accounting software, internal marketing tools, as well as custom external tools that we build for our clients, like AI databases and CRMs. We also build automations and different types of workflows too. So the tools of this category, I would split them roughly into 2 major categories. The first one is AI coding tools. I personally use quite a few different AI coding tools. For intensive development stuff, I primarily use a combination of Claude Code, Cursor, Codex, and Warp. I find Claude Code the best when I need to do deep autonomous work inside our own internal code base, while Warp is better for collaboration and orchestrating, like managing a lot of coding agents at the same time. Cursor is nice when you just want a very familiar IDE, and I find that Codex is most useful for me when I want to do very specialized stuff, or when I'm using like another tool that requires a coding agent subscription. Now, those are for the intense development stuff, but sometimes I don't really want to go that deep into code. Maybe I don't want to like look at code at all that day. I just want to build like a prototype that's functional, that's beautiful, and that works. For that, I like to use Bolt as my general option. And if I want to build something that's very business specific, I would use Retool. Now, the second category of AI tools in this builder dungeon category are agentic tools. This includes building workflows and automations using local AI agents like Claude Cowork, which you've already seen, and Hermes, which is an open source local AI agent. I will show some of the workflows I build using Hermes later in the video. But just to finish off this category of agentic tools, my favorite no-code option to build my own agents is n8n, and my favorite code option for building my own agents is OpenAI's Agents SDK. I am not going to go into too much detail about like how is building your own agents different from using like AI agents like Cowork or Hermes. If you are curious, I do cover that in my Essential AI Skills video, which you can check out over here if you like. All right, I just want to make one more note that in order to enable this builder type of work, I do also have this Mac Studio where I run things 24/7 locally and also home to big open source local AI models like Quen models, Llama, GLM, Minimax. The Mac Studio that we have at our office is 64 gigs RAM with an M4 chip. So we're able to run some pretty decent local open source models, which is great when we want things to be private, local, and free. I'm going to put up a summary slide on screen now with more details about the local AI models, some of my other favorite workflows, as well as some other tools that I use in this builder category that is not necessarily like AI tools specifically, but are really important if you actually want to build things. Stuff like data stores, MCP servers, VPS and hosting platforms for our software development, things like that. So take a screenshot. Or actually, if you don't want to take a screenshot, that's cool too. I'm going to put a link in the description. I'm going to put together the summary slides and resources as like a video companion, which you can get for free. And that's up. We're moving on to Octopus HQ. Now, one of the underlying tools that I use when I'm building software workflows and automations is the unsung hero SERP API for internet searching. I am so honored to say that they are the sponsor of this portion of the video because I've been using them constantly since my grad school days. Now, the easiest way to describe SERP API is that it allows you to programmatically get search results from Google and other search engines. So if you want to build any software workflow that needs real-time accurate search results, you'll want to use SERP API. Like my Hermes agent automations where I search for trending news. The resource and slide generator tools that search Google for relevant articles and data. Many commercial AI agents also use SERP API when they need to search the internet. SERP API gives you clean, structured search result data from platforms like Google and YouTube and return instantly as JSONs. So instead of having to deal with CAPTCHAs, rotating proxies, or layouts that break, you just need to make one API call and get what you need. They also have image datasets, Google Scholar articles, newsfeed, shopping results, and can pull real-time structured data from across the web. So you're building with actual live data, not something stale that you scraped from months ago. With a 99.9% uptime, 1.2-second average response time, it is built for developers and builders who need it to work fast and reliably. So sign up now for a free account on serpapi.com to receive 250 free search credits. Link is in the description. Thank you so much, SERP API, for sponsoring this portion of the video. Now back to the video. In case you didn't know, our company is called Lonely Octopus, and we have over 10 people on our team. We have engineers, operations, product and growth managers, editor, designer, and sales. We do have an in-person office in Hong Kong, but most of our people are actually completely remote. So that is why most of my favorite AI tools in Octopus HQ category is around communication, management, facilitating projects, and of course, meta business stuff. Of course, if you ask other people in the team, they would probably have different tools that they like to use. So I'm only going to share the ones that I personally like to use the most, which fall into two major categories. The first one is surrounding management and communication, since that is my major role in the team. This includes Cowork again. I have built custom workflows that helps me keep track of notifications and messages on Discord, Notion, Slack, and helps me manage and draft emails. We use Notion as our primary database for meeting notes and documentations. And Notion AI, which is embedded, has been pretty helpful to sift through all of that when I gotta find something. We're also a big fan of the Google business ecosystem, so Google Drive, Docs, Sheets, Meets, and Gemini is embedded in all of these products for summarizing, transcribing meetings, and writing stuff. I also do really like using a nifty little product called Whisperflow that lets you basically audio input stuff. Now, the second category, which is the meta business stuff, primarily accounting, banking, and taxes. My favorite AI tools are primarily internal softwares, like custom softwares that we build internally as a team, using the Builder AI tools from the Builder Dungeon. As our company has scaled, it has been amazing and wonderful to have so many people, but it definitely has also made like stuff like accounting, banking, and taxes a lot harder. So the reason why we mostly build our internal tools ourselves is, first of all, we want it to be private, so we're using local AI models, and also we can customize it exactly the way that we want it to coordinate between like accounting stuff, taxes, and banks. Still a work in progress here, and it's not like a sexy thing when we talk about meta business stuff, but it is very important, and I'm very grateful to have AI tools to help with this because I absolutely hate doing meta business stuff. Now I will put on screen a summary slide with more details of the specific workflows that I use these tools for. All right, let's move on to our final stop, which is the Content Studio. a big part of my job is content creation, like the video that you're watching right now. I do long-form content, short-form content, as well as written content on newsletters and LinkedIn. So this may be surprising to you because we are a AI education company and I'm an AI creator, but I'm actually pretty low AI when it comes to content because I genuinely really enjoy making content, and I do feel like the human touch here makes a really big difference. I hope, at least. What you see here, 100% human. Let me know if you appreciate that, or I guess maybe you don't care if I was completely AI. I don't know. But anyways, Hermes is my primary favorite AI tool for content creation. Specifically, I have a workflow on Hermes that tracks different AI topics. So it looks through platforms like Reddit, X, Hacker News, Instagram, YouTube, and some other sources as well. And it tracks different topics that are popping up. Since I am not a news creator, I don't make videos or other content that just covers the news. I like to teach people more like topics and implementation of tools. Stuff like, how to use local AI agents or like open source AI models, and like how to think about your career in the age of AI and things like that. So I track the interest of different AI topics over time. And once a topic gets flagged as something that is interesting to people and potentially useful to people, this specific workflow would surface that up to me, alert me, like, hey, maybe you should look into making a video about, let's see what I have here, enterprise AI adoption and real world impact, for example. Then Hermes would actually make a research outline about this topic, which I would then use to do a lot more research myself, actually use the tools if we're covering tools to create the video content. And then, I sit here, I film it like this, and then send it to my editor who edits it before you see it. So that is my primary Hermes workflow for content creation. I'm also going to put on screen now some other of my favorite workflows that I use with Hermes too. The next AI tool in the content studio is what you've already heard many times, Cowork. I also do like using Cowork to generate video assets, like pretty graphics, like these, which you see in many of my videos. Now for written content, I do have some internal AI tools developed in the Builder Dungeon, which helps make the free video companions with the resources and summaries and stuff like that, like the one you can find in the description. And final favorite AI tool in this category is a tool that we internally like to call AI Tina. It is basically this chat interface that's trained on all of the social media content that I have released. And you can ask it questions and it's able to tell you stuff and is able to answer these questions based upon things that I've said in the content. Now, the way that people like to use this tool is that they would just ask it questions that they may want to ask me, but they want to just know the answer immediately. Like, for example, what are Tina's 2 frameworks that she likes to use for prompt engineering? Which the AI Tina would tell you it's tiny crabs ride enormous iguanas and ramen saves tragic idiots. Those are the mnemonics. So I personally don't really use AI Tina that much because I hopefully remember the stuff that I talk about. But it's useful for the rest of my team because, they want to ask me a question and they don't want to just ask me directly because, it takes me a while to get back to them. So they can just ask AI Tina instead. Obviously, this doesn't replace me actually making decisions for stuff, but it's just useful to have when it's a very information-based question that somebody wants to know. So yes, there you have it. We are still experimenting with other workflows and tools surrounding content creation. So my favorite tools are probably going to change the most in this category specifically. But for now, these are my favorite tools. I would put on screen now a summary slide for this section. All right, we are at the end of this video. Yay! I hope this is helpful learning about my favorite AI tools. Let me know in the comments if you also use any of these AI tools or you have different tools that you personally like to use. I'd love to check out your favorite tools as well. So do let me know in the comments. And I will see you guys in the next video or live stream.